Is this stimulus package going to be enough? What is the plan?
You know, it's funny because you talk to people on both sides of the aisle, and on one hand, you know, a lot of very conservative economists will tell me it's not, believe it or not, they'll say it's not enough. If you're going to do it, go ahead and do it. So it's not enough to really make enough of a difference. And then liberal economists will say the same thing. It's not enough because it's, you know, so there's a little bit of a consensus out there that it's not enough and it's not the right kind of stimulus right now.
You know, I've often said that I've been a reporter 52 years. And in that time, I've covered everything from hubcap thieves to arms control negotiations. And in almost every story that I have covered, I've had some opinion of what the government ought to do or ought not to do, or what the police ought to do or what they ought not to do. But as I've watched this story unfold, and I'd like to ask all of you if you get the same feeling, most of the time I have no idea if what the government is doing is the right thing to do. Now, you know, when I hear Nancy Pelosi on the left, and I hear former President Bush on the right, and I hear Warren Buffett in the middle say, for example, we need to do something, I generally take that to mean we need to do something. But as each of these plans is rolled out, whether this is exactly the right thing to do or not, I have no idea. I don't feel I have the technical expertise to know.
Everybody thinks what we're involved in is the most important. If you talk to 18 school teachers that say education is the most important. If you talk to 23 registered nurses and healthcare professionals that say healthcare is. I think he makes the case for the seamlessness of his program, that saving the economy, saving America, at a time when most Americans are quite anxious, as David put it, about our future, and Gwen touched on it as well from her own travels, it requires health care and energy and education as well as the economy. And they aren't mutually exclusive. If anything, there's a symbiosis. You know, I think you can't accuse him of being bashful or not being ambitious in his agenda. And you know, to me, it makes logical sense.
Remember at this point last year, everywhere we went, people would say, are you still talking about this campaign? It's the longest campaign in the history. Well, this is why we were talking about the campaign, because the only way we have this early in the administration to gauge a presidency is how did the president behave before. Now this president is showing that he's willing to bite off more than he can chew and do all these big things and go against conventional wisdom. So where did we see this before? We saw this in the campaign. He wasn't supposed to win.